Okay, now mixing. And even more than mixing. I'm going to hide that track. Nothing on it. Okay, so one thing I want to say is even though you don't see anything on the snare and hi-hat track, they are just here to serve so that we can hear what battery is plugged in and playing through them. I think this next thing is easier to see from the mix window. I'm going to click on the snap. Actually, I'm going to grab and move the snap so it's just kind of more with the drums. And then I'm going to click on lead so the next track that I make is over to the right of that and just inside of the master fader. We're going to go up to track, new, and we are going to make a new type of track. Mono becomes stereo, audio track becomes aux input. And we're going to name it right while it's here, we're going to call it Reverb. And reverb is kind of the sound of going into the gym and bouncing a ball and hearing it kind of reverberate through that space. So you can see that the icon is different. We're going to kind of go up to the top insert and we're going to go multi-channel plugin, reverb, and we are going to choose reverb called Deverb. The other thing that we're going to do on this track is we're going to come to the input and we're going to change it to a bus. Bus 1 and 2. If you don't have bus 1 and 2, really any bus will work. Even some of you may have them named reverb. In fact, if I come to my I/O here and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, so I can't do it. So I'm going to skip that. Anyways, you can name them basically. All right, so I have done the two things that I need to do. I made the track, that's one, 3 things. Changed the input to a bus, 2 things, and inserted reverb, that's 3. I'm going to go over to the snare drum because it's the most obvious thing. I'm going to come to the sends section. And the idea here is that we're going to send this sound through this bus and through this reverb. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to send a bus 1 and 2. All right, so this floating fader just popped up. And again, what I want to do is get signal from here to here. And I do that, how much signal is determined by this fader. So I'm going to kind of just solo the snare drum. Hopefully I can get to a section where the snare drum plays. And as I bring this up, we start to hear a nice thick reverb. And I'm raising the decay, how long that reverb is, to about 6 seconds because it's a slow song and I want it to really ring out. Now, I will always say, send many things. A reverb is like putting a band together in a room. So I'm going to put that guitar through the reverb. I'm going to bring that up a bit. I'm going to put the E-piano through the reverb. I'm going to bring that up a bit. Not much on the bass. Snaps, oh yeah. Nice wet snap. Hi-hat, a little bit. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Kick, not a whole lot at all. And bass, like hardly at all. Maybe even just copy that over. That's an option, click, and drag. The vocal already has a lot baked in, and our guitar has plenty built in. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, so now it really is time to mix. And we'll come back and do that as a separate adventure as well.